Oh my goodness. Hello.
Said I was ready, guys. I wasn't.
Courtney will be ready in just one moment. Hi, Fedor. Happy
Oh my goodness.
Wednesday. Oh my goodness. Okay, good.
Uh-huh.
Wonderful. How is this
Sneeze. Woo.
this lovely Idara? Please let me know if we said your name right. Hello.
I think we did.
Happy
I think we did say it right.
Wednesday. Yeah, just making sure.
Yeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, Arco. The way that shows up on my screen is hi. Free chat.
I know, poor Chris.
Chris is definitely doing some DJ work in Florida. We won't let him tell us anything else. Hi, I'm Ashleigh. This is Courtney.
Hi.
We are CA in LA. Courtney and Ashleigh in Los Angeles. We're best friends, filmmakers, musicians,
And variety streamers.
yeah. And welcome to
Idara. Okay.
episode 1 of season 6 of the Cinema Collective.
Actually insane that we're on 6 seasons. Very, very happy. And thank you. Thank you for the correction too.
Yes.
We got it.
Yes. Thank you so much.
We've had the absolute privilege of having 6 seasons of this show, starting from No Experience Necessary, where we broke down Premiere as if no one has ever opened it before and just going through what it looks like, how to use it. And Ashleigh and I love being in education for this show because it's just some of the things that we wish we would have been told. You know what I mean? Just like really, really, really in-depth stuff, which we enjoy a lot. And we're happy to share it. So thank you for being here.
Yeah. But how's your Wednesday? I'm really surprised at a lot of the newness that isn't really happening on TV and streaming. I don't know. I was looking into if summertime is organically a time that there isn't a lot of new programming. And that is kind of the case because a lot of these streamers, also the industry is in such a weird state of flux. So
Yes. We
knows?
had lunch with a friend from Maryland who's also in film, and we were all just like,
yeah.
things are interesting.
Yeah. Tons of new changes and we're all just trying to figure it out.
Yep. And Ashleigh's here to tell us what's going on, how bad it is, how good it is, what we can look forward to seeing, and all of the above.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yes to that.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have a ton of slides today, but I'm
That's
okay.
okay, because I've got a ton.
Good.
Mind.
Though I got viciously attacked by a June
Oh.
bug. Hi, Dino.
I am so sorry.
What is an attack by a June bug feel like?
Hi, Dino. Welcome in. How is your day?
I personally miss my favorite summertime bug, which is a firefly.
I do miss those. Yeah, they were really good. Also, this new background looks really great. I enjoy it
Good.
a lot.
Hi, JC.
I see what you did.
Thanks.
See,
Thank you.
collecting dots, connecting dots. Even
Collecting dots.
We're starting early. Hi,
Here we
JC. Good
are.
morning.
Okay, so here's our new layout. There's definitely going to be quirks, but we're going to figure it out. So last week we went over some film news and we filmed a short film called Spicy Monster. And so Courtney was taking you through the assistant edit, which was really fun. I got to look through footage last night and develop some new workflows and it was really cool. So great job on the assistant
Thank
edit
you.
and
Great job.
for showing us how organized and detailed you are.
We love it.
We do. JC, we're really glad. We're glad that you enjoy it.
Dino, did you touch some grass? I don't know if we touched grass, but we were definitely outside.
I touched leaves and plants. Does that
I
count?
touched plants.
I
yeah.
touched a lot of leaves.
Yeah.
And a lot of plants. And
including our own, but
got some green beans.
they don't necessarily fill this brief. And some green beans.
We did, but we did spend 10 minutes outside. We
Yeah, we did.
had a coffee meeting with a friend and we walked to the place and it was good. It was great.
It's been really beautiful out, and I wish that this were the weather all the time.
All the time.
Yep.
Okay, so this was our outside time. Look at the shaggy trees. They're so cute. It's the fact that they have all of these dead leaves on the underside.
I know, they just look like beards, and that's how I choose to see it.
I see beards and then I also see skirts.
The skirts, that's so good.
Yeah.
It's just like a mound of hair and a skirt.
Yeah. I love it.
It flew into and scared me while I was half asleep in a chair. Then I couldn't find where it went for 2 hours, despite several times seeing it out of the corner of my eye in other rooms. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm out.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst. Do you
June
see
bugs?
it and you're like, I don't know.
June bugs aren't supposed to be that sneaky.
They're pretty big, no?
Yeah.
Yeah,
love
JC,
it.
it was really great. It was really, really great.
Yeah.
Amidst all of the craziness of our lives, we've really been trying to make sure that we prioritize our plants, not just for the fact that they need us to survive, but also they bring us joy and some moments of peace.
That's right. We love
I
them.
transplanted a lemongrass and a pineapple I'm growing.
You're growing a
What?
pineapple?
That's so cool.
That's amazing. How does that pineapple growing process work?
Yeah,
That's so fascinating.
that's awesome.
I just want to be surrounded by trees.
Yeah.
Okay, so our chat question for you to get started is holiday themed movies make me...
I was looking into this a little bit before. I knew I wanted to ask this question, but I wanted to see what the general sentiments of the internet were. And a lot of people went immediately to Hallmark. One, because they're just known for their Christmas movies, but they were like, some that I think that Hallmark, I guess I never associated Hallmark with making any other holiday movies other than Christmas, but they were like, not a holiday necessarily, but I feel like they just miss out on springtime. Like Cherry Blossoms could be a very good love story. They just miss all of these anecdotes. And it was really fascinating to think year round because you have Halloween, Christmas, and then I guess there's New Year's
Valentine's Day.
and Valentine's Day, but there aren't a lot of movies that center around that
You're
in the way that
right.
it's a Christmas thing because it's a single day as opposed to an entire holiday season, if you will.
I think it's just easier because people and audiences are primed for Lifetime and Hallmark movies to be around Christmas.
Right.
Yeah. Like, isn't there a massive thing that happens? Like, every day there's like 2 new movies or something.
Yeah. They have a whole Christmas, like countdown to Christmas type deal. I don't particularly mind them. I don't mind if they're holiday themed. I think, especially the Christmas ones, not necessarily Hallmark, but I just love Christmas movies because out in LA, you don't get any of the cold weather, but you do get the cozy feel of the nostalgic ones. So
That's
I
right.
enjoy those.
They're decent sized, slow and dumb, clumsy. They often flip over on their backs and they can't flip back over. Poor things.
Oh,
Gotta feel bad for them that they haven't evolved a little bit better. But
Bless 'em.
That's okay.
but yeah, think about this,
Let us know what you think about holiday movies in the chat.
which is the reason why I asked in the springtime for this exact reason.
Yeah, I can't think of... Well, there's definitely like summertime. Yeah, I think springtime, everyone's too busy like finishing up classes or like just busy getting to summer. But interesting anecdote, Court.
Yeah, very.
Okay, so...
Thanks, Reddit.
There is a relative amount of new stuff, but I also went digging for things that I missed the other week. So we're going to start with this crazy documentary called Bring Me the Beauties. And this is about a male supermodel, Hoyt Richards, and he's recounting 2 decades being in a new age cult that was in New York called Eternal Values. And it was led by a Manhattan socialite who claimed to be an alien.
Oh,
So I don't want to ruin the movie. That's kind of like modern day this, but not.
Yeah.
But this seems really wild, and it is releasing every Monday. So they released the first episode on Monday 2 days ago, and then they're releasing the next 2 episodes the next 2 Mondays.
that is
But
very, very cool.
check it out on HBO. It seems really wild, and cult things are really having a moment. Not suitable for work. This is a Mindy Kaling project on season 1. There will be 9 episodes. It's a comedy and it's about 20-somethings. So imagine modern day Friends. 5 work-obsessed 20-somethings strive for professional success and if they have time, personal happiness in Manhattan's most glamorous neighborhood, Murray Hill. So this is on Hulu and you got 2 episodes out yesterday and 2 episodes will be released every Tuesday until all 9 episodes have been released.
Amazing.
Yeah, it feels like this is in the lane of trying to fill ensemble comedies.
Yes, because you had this is where it's going to be bad because I'm not going to remember the names of anything. but there was Sex Lives with College Girls, which is now done. Then there was the one of all of the roommates living in that one house that I can't remember the name of. But yeah, we really don't have a lot of like friendship full cast.
Yeah, I agree with
Full
that.
ensemble.
Which is interesting, but
It is.
if you're interested in ensemble comedy pieces, there you go.
Yeah, I Love LA is done too, so it's good.
Yeah. Legend of Vox Machina. This is on season 4. Have any of you watched this? I didn't know that it was a cartoon, but season 4, it is an action fantasy comedy and 12 episodes. A year after defeating the dragons of the Chroma Conclave, the members of Vox Machina have gone their separate ways, but long slumbering evil awakens and forces their realm's most chaotic heroes to reunite for their darkest adventure yet.
Ooh.
I know, fancy. June 3rd, today, on Amazon Prime. So it's fascinating that the release strategy so far is we're going to release some of the episodes and then we'll release them weekly. So this is following that same pattern with 3 episodes dropped, and then they will have weekly releases on Wednesdays to hit that 12 episode mark.
I do wonder if they're trying to, I'm not exactly sure how this would work, but trying to get into the mindset of people's attention spans that maybe the first, and a lot of shows that we've seen, the pilot doesn't necessarily do it. You have to give them a little more to really get invested, and then you space it out. If you only give them one and then they have to wait, they probably won't come back to it.
Maybe.
So maybe they're adjusting for that. I watched the first 3 seasons. It was okay. Hi, Wade.
Hi, Wade.
Welcome in. How are you doing?
Yeah.
And what was okay about it? Like what wasn't clicking for you?
Love some crit roll. Yeah, this is based on Dungeons and Dragons. So check that out.
So big fan.
Big fan. Cape Fear. This is a psychological horror and thriller. It looks it. And this is about a convicted murderer walks free and back into the life of the lawyer who put him in jail.
Is that Amy Adams?
It is Amy Adams. Yeah.
She's so good.
One of these days, she's going to be nominated and recognized for her ridiculous talent.
Yeah,
because
she's insane.
She is in so many projects and really never gets the acclaim that she deserves.
Agreed.
So this is released weekly on Fridays with 10 episodes starting on Friday on Apple. I've been seeing
This is interesting.
photos and clips of Brett Goldstein and Jennifer Lopez hanging out, and they're allegedly dating. And I was trying to figure out why and how they met, but then it made sense when I saw that they have a rom-com that's coming out in 2 days on Netflix. And it's called Office Romance. It's just over an hour and a half. But Jackie, president and CEO of Air Cruise, runs a tight ship in her business, including a rigid anti-fraternization policy for all her employees. When a sexy new lawyer begins working for her, that policy becomes well tested. I wonder what will happen. Will she change her policies? Will this receive positive fanfare? I'm excited. Arco says, I liked it while I was watching it, but now I'm away from it. Don't consider it particularly memorable. I'll probably watch the 4th season, but wasn't something I'm super itching to get back to.
Yeah, that's really interesting, having that time away from things. Like so many conversations around this show, but Euphoria took way too long to come back, that it was just, people didn't, you just missed the window. So I completely understand that.
Thank you, JC. I've been working on it.
And Wade feels the same. JC, the other night, Ashleigh was reading Dyson hairdryer reviews in the same tone. And let me tell you, it was beautiful.
That's right. She said Dyson hairdryer reviews. That's right.
But I barely remember any of the plot. Yeah.
Wade says, Arco, I 100% get that and frankly feel the same.
Also, just for you, quick.
Yeah, got you.
Okay.
I see that, but can't fix it now.
No, for sure.
Yeah. The Vampire Lestat, this is on season 3 and is glam rock, horror, and dark fantasy.
I mean, hey.
It's having its moment.
Right.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, I feel that, well, I haven't watched it. I just mean, I like the idea of just dark fantasy. You add a little bit, but it actually is otherworldly. So it's not as on the nose or as terrifying as Black Mirror, because it's it's somewhere else, you know?
Yeah, so this will be released weekly on Sundays with 7 episodes. The first episode premieres on AMC on Sunday, and it's resentful of his perfunctory portrayal in a trashy bestseller. The immortal vampire Lestat sets his story straight by becoming a rock star and launching a chaotic multi-city tour.
For the world tour. Wait, on Vox, it's hard to get the stories condensed from 5-hour gaming sessions. I can only imagine how they picked what they kept for a story beat. That's a very good point. I always wonder how they did that. Like Mortal Kombat, I think people said was good, but it's, yeah, if the game is super in depth and there are all these side quests, how do you even begin to choose? I don't know. I have respect. That's not for me. Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire has a documentary coming out on Sunday on HBO. I'm really hyped because Questlove directed it, so you know it's going to be good. And this is talking about their cultural impact over the last several decades. It clocks in at just over an hour, at an hour and 19 minutes. And it looks really dope. It is a blend of archival and interviews, and also is really dynamically built around music. Check it out. It's going to be a bop.
That's really cool.
Earth, Wind, and Fire puts on a fire show. Maybe also with Earth and Wind. Maybe some water.
Wind means airflow, and that's a good thing.
That is. We should fight for more airflow.
I agree.
A couple new things on streaming this week. Hoppers. I am really interested. I remember pitching that this is out in theaters a couple weeks ago, and it's a comedy sci-fi that is about scientists transferring human consciousness into robotic animals. It seems deeply unhinged, and I'm really excited to see what this is about. So this is available on Disney. It is a comedy sci-fi at just under 2 hours.
Love it.
Room to Move. This is a documentary coming in at about 2 hours, and it is following an acclaimed choreographer, Jen Freeman, as she navigates an autism spectrum disorder diagnosis at 33, and how it affects her perception of herself, how it affects how she has processed and existed up until this point. And then she puts all of that into one large full-length dance piece, and it is the journey of all of that. So check that out on Netflix.
That's really cool.
It looks very vibrant and artistic and experimentally done, and I'm excited to see her bravery in telling her story.
I agree. You know, the visuals are going to be stunning.
Oh, they looked stunning from the trailer.
Yeah.
Deli Boys is on season 2. We watched the first couple episodes and just never got back to it. It is on Hulu, out now. This is one of the projects that I missed last week, but it is a crime comedy with 6 episodes all out, and drowning in dirty cash, the Dar brothers must team up with an unhinged casino king to launder their illegal stash, all while dodging an ambitious DA, fueling dangerous family vendettas. So it's like a comedy version of Ozark.
Yeah, I think that's a good summation.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay.
Iron Lung is officially out on YouTube. It came out a couple days ago. You can rent it for $4.99. This is Mark Plier's indie film that shattered box office records for independently produced and distributed films. This is all wrong. It's not 6 episodes all released. It's just a 2-hour film. But it is
2 hours?
in the post-apocalyptic aftermath of the quiet rapture. A convicted criminal is welded inside of a rusted submarine to explore an alien ocean of blood on a desolate moon, risking his life in a desperate bid to earn his freedom. Go check it out.
Go check it out.
It's probably not as fun on YouTube as it was in the theaters, but...
Well, of course, it's kind of hard to beat that.
I found this movie that was a Singaporean, I think it's Singaporean, horror called Smothered. But note that mother is in all caps in the English title. It's an hour, 39 minutes, available on Shudder, and it's a psychological thriller and horror about surviving a car crash with fractured memories. An artist returns home to his family only to become suspicious of an older stranger who arrives claiming to be his mother.
Ew, so horror fans, man, horror really is coming up.
Yeah, and I've heard excellent things about this from my horror friends, and it's on Shudder. Shudder is the platform if you are a horror fan.
Yeah, everyone's talking about Backrooms, Widow's Bay, just the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Whole kit and boodle.
It's not scary enough just living in the timeline, so everyone likes to immerse in a scarier timeline.
That's right.
Scary Movie is coming out.
That's a human condition, isn't it?
I cannot believe this, but can I not?
Can I? Yes.
So Scary Movie is coming out at an hour 36. It is a horror comedy. 26 years after outrunning suspiciously familiar masked killer, Shorty, Ray, Cindy, and Brenda find themselves targeted by another mad slasher.
Also, is that Ashley Tisdale? It looks like her.
Honestly, I
and
don't.
if it is,
I don't know who's in this movie.
Go off. I need to see.
I really didn't spend a lot of time on this. I was just like, of course, as horror movies are having their
which one is it?
Their comeback. It's just the new. Just look up Scary Movie 2026 cast. Going to see Backrooms tonight. Wade,
I'd love to hear your
so
thoughts.
excited for you to see it. Everyone has been ranting and raving about how extraordinary it is.
I don't know. Okay, interesting. That casted, well, whatever.
Masters of the Universe. I didn't know that they were making a live action He-Man and that it was Nicholas that was going to be He-Man. But, you know, from bottoms to this.
He's great.
Masters of the Universe coming in at $222 is an action sci-fi, and the sword of power leads Prince Adam back to Eternia, a world shattered under the fiendish rule of Skeletor. Joining forces with Tila and Man-at-Arms, Adam must embrace his true destiny as He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe.
I hope he does a great job. He commits, so
he does. He's a great Jeff.
Yes. Yes, he is. And Wade, can't wait to hear your thoughts on Backrooms.
Speaking of Backrooms, it broke records. So in 6 days, it has grossed $161 million worldwide, which on a budget of $10 million has become A24's highest grossing film, beating Marty Supreme.
Let's go.
Original thoughts, right?
Original IP.
Original thoughts, original ideas, original stories.
If this doesn't tell you, I don't know what will.
The Skeletor voice is meh in the trailers.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah. Isn't it supposed to be like a thing? I don't know much about all of the superhero stuff, but I remember people being really passionate about Skeletor. So
yes.
Hopefully it's cooler in the movies and not like the trailer. Martin Scorsese. Marty.
Come on, Marty. What are you doing?
Martin Scorsese is an official partner and advisor to Black Forest Labs, a German-based generative AI startup. He's actively campaigning and utilizing Black Forest Labs' text-to-image flux model to help him with storyboarding. He has called the tech creatively freeing. People are canceling him online.
I mean, yes, you've had a thriving career in an industry that hires millions of people, and you're like, I don't care about the people who've done all my storyboarding. And his films are hefty storyboards. Y'all have seen them? Yeah, oof, Martin, come on.
I know.
Is beating Marty Supreme really a brag?
It is.
Yeah, I mean, box office numbers, yes. Everything around it, no.
Marty Supreme was the highest grossing A24 film, so it is really, really significant that not only did Backrooms take Marty Supreme and dust it, but this film, directed by a former YouTuber who is 20 years old, who pulled the idea off internet forums, and is a horror film. So really, really big moment for A24 and indie filmmakers and horror.
We've been saying this is the rise of indie film, and I feel strongly about that. JC, I'm not a fan of live action, but I do love that it has made Tubi put the original He-Man cartoon on their streaming app, so now I can go watch the real He-Man again. That's a really interesting point, is that when something new comes out, they bring back to promote hype, and now you get to see the shows you love. That's great.
See, Wade, I don't think that Marty Supreme was set up to be beaten. A24 invested a lot of money and resources into that whole campaign, and I think that they expected it to be received so much better than it was, especially with the campaign that Timmy was running. I mean, he started dating a Kardashian for that whole situation, you know? I also just saw Marty Y at the bottom. Yeah, like,
I do. Why?
Marty has been such a prominent figure for filmmakers, and I knew it was bad when one of the headlines was like geriatric 83-year-old filmmaker, and I was like, oh god.
Oh no.
We know everyone feels about that. In other news, Adobe and NVIDIA have partnered up, and NVIDIA's new RTX Spark super chip will be used to help create better workflows in Premiere and Photoshop. In Premiere, they've built a new video pipeline for more real-time performance while editing and color grading and faster rendering of timelines, and AI that's GPU accelerated. Photoshop, you'll have live filters, HDR, and new oil and watercolor brushing capabilities, again powered by the AI native pipeline, accelerated by Tensor RT. Substance 3D Painter and Stager leverage RTX Spark for a smoother, more responsive texturing and scene creation experience. That was just announced yesterday.
Variety had a pretty long article yesterday on the YouTubers taking over. I'll post in Discord.
Yes,
please, Arco.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, wait, which Discord? Are you talking about the Adobe Live CA in LA Discord or CA's Discord?
Just in a Discord.
Just want to be sure. Okay.
So Chronicles of Narnia, which is Greta Gerwig's next project, was supposed to be in IMAX in theaters this Thanksgiving. However, it just got pushed to 2027 Thanksgiving. Hasn't been announced why, but was announced. So in place of that 2-week IMAX window, Brad Pitt's sequel, called The Adventures of Cliff Booth, will be taking its place. So for 2 weeks, starting November 25th, it'll be in IMAX theaters, and then on Netflix December 23rd, which does signal not only the return to, I'm sorry, what? Chronic what? Not only does this, is this the awakening moment for Netflix in theatrical, but also this was written by Quentin Tarantino and directed by David Fincher, and this is the first time I'm hearing about this movie. So,
Adara, thank you for putting the Discord link in there. I appreciate you.
thank you. Cinegear is happening this Friday and Saturday at Universal Studios. This is a very large exhibit and networking opportunity with classes and demos, and I guess it's a trade show. And you get to see all of the new workflows and gear, and get to walk the back lot and see what's going on over at Universal. It was really funny last year because they still had studio tours going. And so all of us are walking around and these tourists are taking photos of all of us.
Of like the average LA filmmaker. You're like, wait, no.
Everyone was having a blast.
I heard someone go, oh my gosh, look at all the extras. And I was like, yes.
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 Hollywood is alive and kicking.
You can be discovered this way.
Can you imagine? I love that. And just go up and like do an interview with them. Yeah. So the tagline for this is where storytelling meets magic. I think the magic is that it happens on a film lot, but tickets are available for $30. It used to be free, but
Then the industry was having a hard time.
That's right. So a couple highlights that are happening on Friday. There's definitely stuff happening on Saturday, but Friday, there is a Sony and ASC presentation on Spider Noir, and they're interviewing the cinematographer and they're interviewing the colorist, and they're going to be talking about how they created the look for a show that was released both in black and white and in color. And so how did those workflows happen? so on and so forth.
That is very cool.
Yeah. No, I do think the DP is going to be there. Yes. Final answer. The DP and the colorist. So that's going to be really cool. And we're going to try to be there.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Then Cinegear has a award and reception party the first night, and you have to have a VIP party pass or sneak in. And it is from 7 to 9 p.m.
Or a register, maybe. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay, my final anecdote here is Paramount Skydance is acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery in a landmark transaction valued at approximately $111 billion, which is one of the largest mergers in media history. Warner Brothers shareholders, despite being told don't do this, voted Thursday, April 23rd, to approve the company's acquisition
We just don't
by
listen to anyone's
Paramount
advice anymore.
Skydance. No, we don't listen. Paramount Plus, the acquisition initially scheduled to be complete by September 30th, is reportedly being pushed through to a July 15th closing date. However, this is subject to regulatory approval. We are currently in a fun place where Paramount Skydance has asked the European Union to approve the $111 billion equity acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery before the EU's current projected July 7th deadline. The European Trade Alliance, which represents 27 countries, is reportedly set to look at the transaction specifically under its foreign subsidies regulation law, which seeks to prevent non-European firms financed by sovereign states from impeding EU competition. This is questionable whether this is going to be passed or not. It's not as much of a slam dunk as the U.S. Department of Justice expected flow through and approval of this.
Winter Pal, yes. Oh, yes. It reads. And this merger Ashleigh's been covering for 2 seasons now.
Yep.
This being the second season of this show. And it's as bad as it sounds.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there is a lot of speculation that there might be a chug here because specifically of that second half of which seeks to prevent non-European firms financed by sovereign states, specifically from impeding on EU competition. So that competition is that 3 Middle Eastern sovereign wealth funds are the ones providing $24 billion in funding. And this is very controversial because they already have shown, different independent investigators have already shown firm evidence that this deal will be detrimental not only to Hollywood jobs, but also will present a national security threat because 24 billion of the 111 billion is a considerable percentage of control over the type of decisions and programming that will be featured. So currently, California Attorney General Rob Bonta is investigating and has stated on numerous times to numerous people that this deal is not a done deal and has many red flags.
Rob Bonta is also up for election in California right now. So if he gets reelected, great. This will continue. This investigation will continue. If he doesn't, then it probably won't. So we really need him back. The current Paramount CBS 60-minute shakeup is telling, and I don't think it will matter at all for this merger.
Not at all.
I don't think anything will matter aside from the people who are the decision makers. But like any outside influence, I don't think has any pull.
Found this really solid Reuters article. If you want to read more, kind of like how we got here from, I think they started in the 1980s, 1990s of the studio ecosystem, and they narrow it down. It's got really fun infographics and stuff. So I would highly recommend checking this out. It's called A Whale of a Deal, and it's on Reuters, and it was just published today. So check this out. I'm definitely interested in reading it to understand it myself. Okay, and with that being said, Courtney, at 11:35, the ball is in your court.
Yay. Okay. Let's jump into Premiere and let's do some tutorials, which I personally love. So we're going to be covering text today, and I know this might not seem like much, but I'm going to go through everything and what everything means. I think based off of the last episode that we were going through source patching and what these things actually mean, I think it's important to cover them instead of just saying, oh, here's what you can do with text. You can modify the size and you can align it and do all these things. I'm going to go as in depth as I possibly can because it will make everyone's life easier, including mine. So, and that's what we want.
Yeah, that shakeup, Wade, I'm nervous.
She's nervous. And we're all going to try to stay positive in the midst of all of it. Right?
That's right.
That's right. And the YouTube indie filmmaker, everything in indie film world does give me hope, because if this merger happens, I do think it is going to be a further rise of indie filmmakers rejecting the traditional system, which we've all been doing for a while. But now that jobs aren't really stable, funding and distribution has to come from somewhere else. And if all of these leaders in the industry, actors, directors, what have you, are rejecting this merger, then they'll say, hey, I'm going to start a company, I'd imagine, and start giving funding to other filmmakers instead of going through the proper studio channels. So this could be really good. They just let their greed get in the way, and now consequences. All right, let's talk text. I'm about to save you some sleep right now. Yes, Premiere has guides, but what is really beautiful is you want to have them snap into your monitor. What's really annoying is when you have text and you're dragging it all over the place, but you don't have any guides. While they exist, I'm going to just have it snap for you. We're going to go to our wrench icon, and we're going to make sure that Snap in Program Monitor is turned on. I will show you what that looks like, but just do that for yourself right off the bat. It'll make things much easier. Depend on your version of...
So sorry, I need you to say that again.
Which part?
Just how you go about.
Oh, yes. If you want to add snapping to your monitor, go to your wrench icon right here in your Program Monitor and Snap in Program Monitor. So those are going to create the guides for you. I will show you what that looks like in a second. But the way we go about editing, that's right, support indie creators. How we go about editing our text depends on which Premiere version you have. If you have 25 and later, then everything is going to be in the properties panel. If you are in 24 and lower, then it will be in your effects controls. But I am in 25 and higher, so...
Question, is anybody in chat in Premiere 24 or lower? Sorry, continue.
No, that's okay. Okay, if you do not have this properties panel, then just go to Windows, Properties, and she will pop up over here with Lumetri and Frame.io. Okay, so let's start by adding our text. There are two ways you can do it. I can create a new graphic with this button right here, or I can use the type tool by just pressing T. So we'll do that one first. Now the type tool is selected, and I can just click on my video and add my text. I'll also, and you can see it has also added a new layer for us. So if I click out and I don't have this selected, I can also create one this way and decide if I want vertical or just regular text. I'm gonna just leave the type tool because I've already done it. Actually, no, we'll add another one. And now it adds a new layer for me that I can highlight, and let's do Hindsight, because that is the album that Ashleigh and I are re-releasing later this year, which is very exciting. So now we have them typed out, but to move them, what do? You would probably think that you can just click on it, drag it around. It doesn't work that way. So you have to actually click out, go to your move tool, which is this arrow right here, or a V as a keyboard shortcut. Now that's selected, and now we can drag and move things. And look, our snap grids are there. So now I know exactly what's centered without having to go down to my align tools and wonder what all of that is.
Oh my.
Oh my. And you can very easily align things this way, but I want to draw your attention to our anchor points. You'll see these little dots down here. You can see that I can drag them all over the place, but natively they will land in this sort of corner. All that this means is that it is showing where we are going to be transforming the text from. That means scaling, that means rotating. It has absolutely nothing to do with aligning the text to this video frame to any other text in here, in case anybody did not know that. So this is strictly for scaling. What I mean is if I grab a corner of it it's going to scale directly from this corner and nowhere else. If I wanted to move this anchor point to somewhere else and scale from the inside out, oh, also on our font size here, you can see it also scales from that corner. But this font size also has nothing to do with how this actually scales in the anchor point. I'll show you what I mean. So if I'm going to move this anchor point, which I can drag it all over. If I want to say set it dead center, I would hit Command or Control on my keyboard. And if it wants to, it doesn't want to.
Bring a plane.
That's right. It doesn't want to right now, but the red guides will show up and it will snap to the middle of my text, which it isn't doing, but it does do that. So if I move it and now I do my font size, look, the anchor point doesn't actually move with the text because, again, this has nothing to do with how it's transformed. I'm only adjusting font size. Does that make sense? Oh, see, our snap grids. Perfect. So actually, yeah, with our snap grids, we don't need to hit Command or Control. It'll just find the center point. Are you with me so far?
I'm following.
Okay. So again, this is only for transforming, not for aligning at all. If I wanted to scale from the center point, because now my anchor is in the middle, if I do transform again, now you can see it blows up from the inside. So everything is equal from the inside of the anchor point instead of this point moving around on my text. Okay, with me? Great. So now that we have 2 points of text here, and I have my anchor point centered, which again, doesn't really matter to me, let's go through what all of these are. Yay! All right, so we have our text. These are where you'll be able to add any of your Adobe fonts. They will automatically populate across all of your Adobe platforms, which is fabulous. Then I can choose which version of these that I want. But let's look at these T's right here. You probably spent a lot of time clicking around on them, not really knowing what they are, but I will tell you. So one, this is bold. So if there's an option for this font, this one's pretty bold already, but it'll give you an option to bold it. This slight t will be italicized. The TT is all caps. So if there is any lowercase at all, let's choose a font that will have, let's do that.
I'm just saying Playfair.
Okay, so let's look. Now we have some lowercase in here. So what does this look like if I'm going to use the T's? It is going to capitalize everything.
Ooh.
Then if we're going to go to the next one, there's a bigger T, but then there's a little t, but it's still capitalized. So what this is going to do is it's going to take, let's turn this off. There it goes. Now let's see what this one does. So this is going to keep this capitalized, but make it the same size as the lowercase letters. So you can get a little bit more stylized if you want to do that. So that one is particularly, again, making capitalized text the same size as something that is lowercase in your font. Then we're going to go over to the next one, which is going to be our superscript. This is going to be used if you're using something that is higher than the baseline text. So if you were going to say something like cubed, copyright symbols, that kind of thing, and you need it, let's do, okay, so I just added a character that's a little bit taller. So this is going to make your signal up, or your sign up here. If you were to do, like I said, cubed copyright signs, that is how you're going to align that within your text. Make sense? This feels like a betrayal to all that Scorsese's achieved, but I also understand him not wanting to miss the next evolution. Yes, I completely agree with that. Completely agree.
But, you know, Winter, I agree. Support indie creators and indie comics. Do it.
Do it. Okay, so then we've gone through our superscript. Now we're going to do our subscript. This is going to do the exact opposite of what the superscript does. So if you have H2O, for instance, you can now type out H2O and bring the 2 down here without having to find a special character of how on earth you type that. It's already in Premiere for you to align that text. And then this is your standard underline. Okay, so now we know what all of the T's do. Yay! in practice, which is amazing. Then we're going to go down to our font size, which I feel is pretty self-explanatory. I do constantly highlight this stuff because you need to. If you don't and you just drag font size, it isn't going to do much of anything.
Vidor, it sent at just the right time. You are all good.
Yeah, no, perfect. Okay. So now let's move down to how we align these things. There are a couple things that are grayed out, and I will explain what those are as well. So first, these three. These are your standard align left, align right buttons of how the paragraph or how the text is existing. Yes, ma'am.
Scorsese Winter has partnered with a AI company to help generate storyboards. And he has mentioned that it will cause creative freedom, and he has just been annihilated online.
That's right. Yes.
You're talking about alignment.
I'm talking about alignment. That's right. Okay. So those are your standard. Do you want your text centered? Do you want it justified left, justified right? But these boxes over here, these are going to be based specifically if you have paragraph boxes. So I will show you. Let's move this. Let's just move this over here. All right, I'll go back to my type tool, and I'm going to create a paragraph box. So now I have all of these other options that are open to me. So these are going to be your justified paragraphs. Let me make this super small and test it out. Okay. So this box has contained all of my text, which also makes this much easier to scale. So paragraph boxes are very useful, and please feel free to use them. All right. So this is the justify left is going to, right here, justify last left is going to bring everything to my left. If I do justify center, it's going to bring everything to the center. So these ones are our basic ones. The difference between the justifies is that it is going to take the last line of the paragraph and separate it that way. So it's going to make sure your left and right points are justified to your box, but then it's also going to separate the last line or the last characters. So I will show you what I mean on this one. So now if I click justify, yes, it's going to take the end of my paragraph and separate it equally from the left to the right. I haven't found a particular use case for this, but people use it and people love it and great for them. Or if I justify last right, then it is only going to justify the last line to the very right of my paragraph box. So if you're working on websites and things, this would be incredibly helpful to make sure that your last line is justified where you need it to be. Following? Great. Let's continue to these things. So there's a lot of different ways to align stuff, which we love. Okay. So let's look at our tracking. So our tracking is going to be all of the spaces between the letters. So I'll do hindsight to make this easier because that's a thicker text. This is when we have to highlight. Okay. So this is adjusting equal space between all of my lettering, which makes every font pretty customizable, which we love. Then we're going to go to, well, our baseline spacing. So let's do, just so you can see it, this won't work with regular text, but if we have something like this. So this spacing is going to adjust how high and how low this is in relation to my text. So if you have the subtext up top or super text, then you can adjust exactly where that spacing exists with this alignment tool. Then if we have, let's click on this one, our kerning, this is the space between two letters specifically. Ashleigh and I just ran into this when we were working on our hindsight logo and things like that, that sometimes on certain fonts like the L and the A, just where the letters are based, they don't have enough spacing between them. So that's what the kerning is for. And this one you don't have to highlight, just put your cursor in between the two letters that you want to adjust the spacing for. And now I can stylize a little bit more. Following me so far?
That's really cool. I didn't realize that that's into that.
Yay! Yes, it's very, very helpful. Now we're going to go to our leading. So the leading is going to be specifically the vertical distance between lines and between lines only. So this will be a great example.
Winter says this actually explains issues I have had with lettering my comic. Poor lettering can kill a comic.
Absolutely. Absolutely can. I'm so glad that this is helpful. And if you look up, oh, how do I align text? It's very generic. Like, you can do all these things, but nobody actually explains what the things are and what they mean, which is why I really wanted to do this episode. So we're going to do the line spacing with this. I can make it super crunched. So specifically, again, the spacing between the lines. This one right here is going to be your tab width. So you're deciding, if you were to hit the tab button, how much room is it going to tab over? So let's say, let's just give it 500 maybe. Now I hit the tab button, it sends it pretty far. But if I have it, maybe I want it super minimal. Your formatting will be wonky here, which you can adjust, but the tab, that is adjusting specifically your tab spacing. And then this one is Sumi. I think is how you pronounce it. It might not be correct, but this is specifically going to be the spacing for Chinese, Japanese, and Korean characters. So if you're using anything outside of these characters, this will be your spacing of how to get the exact alignment that you need. Okay. So now that we've gone through all of these fun tools and we know what they do, now we can go into the appearance of our text. Our fill color is going to be the white, exactly as it's showing here. I can also add a stroke, which we'll add a stroke to this one. Yeah, why not? We'll make it blue. All right, and the difference in here is, well, one, I can adjust how thick that line is or how small that line is, but this one is really important. Outer, inner, and center. These are going to be telling you where that weight is added to the text, and it makes a huge difference. For instance, if I have it weighted on the outside, so let's say I really like the font size of this, I don't want to be adding any blue to the inside. I only want it added to the outer because it sits exactly how I need it. But if I were to change this from outer to inner, let's take it down a little bit. You see how the white gets smaller? Because it's adding it to the inside of that line, not the outside. Yeah, that one doesn't.
That looks bad.
It doesn't look great. Or the final one is, if I want a little bit of both, best of both worlds, I can do it from the center. So now I can have it add to the inside and the outside. I just use the outside because once I've decided on the text size, I just leave that alone. So personally, I will only use the outside. Then we can also add a background to our text. Maybe we don't want a stroke. Maybe we just want a background. All of these are very easy to be used because you can, or my personal favorite is our eyedropper. I can select any color. Right now we only have white and black, but when you have a project that you don't have a folder of what colors you necessarily use for a brand package or anything, you can still just eyedropper get the color. We'll make it blue. And then we'll have to make it a bright blue, otherwise we won't ever see it, Courtney. Come on. Come on. We'll do this. Okay. Then when we get down to the bottom here, this is going to adjust the opacity of it, so how see-through it is, to explain that. Then we also have our scaling, but also we have rounded corners. I love when there's a rounded corner feature added.
It's giving Facebook.
Oh, ick. Well, I could see that, yeah. Okay. So now let's move on to mask with text. I love this one so much. We're going to do it with the CA text. I'm going to make it super bold.
Bebus.
Bebus, is that the one?
It's pretty bold.
It's pretty bold. Yeah. Okay. Bebus. So masking with text means I will be able to put a video file or anything really underneath my text. Woo! Woo! Which is always just a cool feature in general. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So the important thing to note here is that I'm going to need to put a video file or something underneath this text, not here. It has to go up here underneath the text in the properties panel. So how much time do I have? Oh, okay. So we're going to take this screenshot and we're going to drop it below, select my CA text, and I'm going to mask with effect. I masked it with what the background looks like, but you can see there's an A there. Okay. And I want to do mask. I'm sorry. What? Maybe I'll pick a different one because that one's really big. Or, you can't see it that well. Let's just do that. Can I drop that? No. Map logo. Or. What do I want to do? Yeah, we'll take that one. So I'm going to drop it under CA. Click on CA. Shh, shh, shh. Secrets. Scroll down here, mask with text, and now that is completely in my text. I could invert it if I want to, but the point is that you want it on the inside. Or I could do mask only fill, but invert or mask with text. Now you can put your images, your videos, and create all of the cool visual effects, particularly with music videos. I definitely want to be using this with that.
So note, mask with text, you have to put the actual asset in that
Underneath.
box.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so now we're going to scroll down because we have all of our text exactly how we want it. Let's pretend. And now it's time to align everything. The first thing about aligning tools is if you have your text on different layers, meaning hindsight's here and CA and LA and these two are on this one, you cannot align them to each other. The hindsight will not work. They have to be within the same text layer. So while layering doesn't matter on your sequence, it matters up here. So if it were me, all of the text that I would be wanting to add to an end video for credits or something, I would make all of my separate assets in the properties panel, not in my sequence. Make sense?
Makes sense.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all of my selections, and since hindsight doesn't matter here because we can't actually do anything with it, test this out, see what it does. Except I'm going to do hindsight instead. Actually. Okay, I might have to break this up into 2 episodes because I don't have enough time. So maybe I'll just stop there then, and I'll go over the alignment and all of the other things and what those mean on the next episode.
Cool.
Instead of rushing through it.
Okay, yeah. I love that. Thank you for your time and for teaching us about font. I learned a lot about how to do things instead of just finding it somewhere and copying and pasting it somewhere, and then it turns bad. It's the bad place. So we'll have part 2 of font and text in Premiere next week. Excuse me. And Vidor says, yeah, if you mess up the font, it sends the wrong tone, especially if you're trying to be funny. With the wrong font, it loses its humor. Without humor, it's just Comic Sans.
That's right. And just remember that text can be reformatted and reworked to work for you. If you really fall in love with the font, but the spacing's weird, there are ways to fix it and make it work. So exactly, Winter, what you were saying, that for comics, spacing, alignment, all of those things, you can do all of that in Premiere.
Yes, hire a letterer. I love that, Winter. Yes. Vidor, thank you. We'll be back next Wednesday, June 10th at 11 a.m. Pacific for episode 602 of the Cinema Collective. And our week 1 challenge for you is, what do you want to see in season 6? Let us know. Jump in the CA and LA Active Show under the Adobe Live Discord. And we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear about what you do, what your interests are, and what you would like to see more or less of. Ohana, thank you so much.
Thank you
for tuning in. Idara and Wade, thank you so much for keeping us safe. Please, if you liked the show, make sure that you hit that like button below and let Adobe know that you want to see more. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 1, season 6 of the Cinema Collective.
Thank you all so much.
Idara, thank you so much.
Idara, thank you again. Yes, for putting all those links. Join the Discord. We'd love to have you there.
Yeah. So Courtney and I are also musicians. We stream on Twitch 3 to 4 times a week. We'll be live tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific, rocking out to some emo tunes because it's emo night.
That's right.
we gotta let it go. Yeah. Thank you all so much
Join us.
for
It'll be
joining
fun.
us. I'm Ashleigh. This is Courtney.
Hi.
We are CA in LA, Courtney and Ashleigh in Los Angeles. We're best friends, filmmakers, musicians.
And variety streamers.
If you're bored, go check out our music on all the musics under CA in LA. Clever, thank you for being here. And we'll see you all next Wednesday.
See you next Wednesday.
Take care, get some naps, snacks, and we'll see you soon.